I might rustle some feathers here, but listen, man, I'm just gonna tell you from my experience. I feel you learn a lot more when you're in the real world and you do things practically as opposed to just reading books. A lot of the things that I've learned, how to talk to students, how to talk to parents, how to talk to people, I learned that just from talking, from being here, doing it, action, practical, doing it, not just reading some books, right? Yeah, he needs a lot of work because those are the topics that I'm covering. The school have not covered yet.
Yeah.
It should be a wake-up call to him. The school will just teach him just the basic stuff.
Yeah.
They're not gonna go through like the hard stuff.
Okay.
So even with the home, this is the homework. So it's not about he gets right or wrong. It's I want him to try. Right? He's gonna get it eventually as we go further and further. Even if you get A stars and whatever, all the A stars or all the top grades, if you can't hold a conversation and you don't know how to communicate your ideas and your thought patterns to other people, or even understand how people work, it's not gonna work for you.
So the meaningful question.
Why are you doing 4 when you haven't done 3 and you haven't done 2 properly?
How do you do that?
You believe in yourself and you try and you think. See, now you can't complain because you said I give too many questions. I only give 2. People always complain when something is not going well for them, but then they're not willing to take action to make a change. How can you change your circumstances if you're not willing to make the change for yourself first and you're not willing to take action? Not everything is going to be right the first time. It's all a trial and error. So it's currently Sunday, 8:05 in the morning. Class will be starting at 8:30. So wasn't able to record much yesterday. Actually, I didn't record anything yesterday just because it was Easter and it's the Easter holidays at the moment. So the classes was a bit more quiet because obviously everyone is going on a holiday at the moment. Bank holiday. I think it was Good Friday and then Monday's a bank holiday. So 4 days where people are going. What's so interesting though, I've noticed, maybe you have or you haven't, is that when school stops or when there's holidays, you can feel like the energy around is very quiet. And it might be a common sense thing, but I've always kind of noticed it's very peaceful because I do feel like everyone is obviously going to different countries maybe, and obviously it's not as rush hour as it normally is. I kind of like that. Every now and then it's nice because most of the time it's just go, go, go. And of course, as I was saying in the previous video, this week we're having the revision masterclass and then we're having another one the following week. So I need to prepare for that. It's going to be, I wouldn't say intense, but well, I would say intense. It will be intense, a bit hectic because it's quite a lot. Basically, I'm going to have to talk for most of the time because I'm going to have to explain all the questions and how to answer them step by step. Looking forward to that. The first one that we're having is the GCSE ones. That's this week. And then the following week, we have the year 12s and the year 13. So for those who don't know, especially from GCSE maths to A-level maths requires a lot more depth. There's a lot more working out. There's a lot more steps to answering a question. Whereas, for example, so the best way to explain this is in GCSE, what would normally be a 4-mark question for an A-level is just one little step in that question, if that makes sense. So for example, if a question says in GCSE, solve this equation using quadratic formula, and that would be probably 3 marks. In A-levels, that's not really a mark. That's something that you have to just use to solve the bigger question. So that's not even a mark in that, if that makes sense. So there's levels to it. And obviously then when you get to university, there's different levels. I'm also taking some, well, when I say taking some time off, I'm also doing things outside of class because when I started this, I don't think I went for a holiday for like 3.5 or 4 years, or actually no, could it even be 7 years? When was it? 2000 and I think it was 7 years or something. And I realized that I can get very addicted to just working. And when I say addicted to working, as in like I can be so tunnel vision that I forget about myself. So I'm trying to now put some activities around my work during this break, Easter break, so that I can compensate and balance it out. So I'm gonna meet a friend on Friday, long-term friend on Friday, who's in Cambridge. So I'm gonna drive up there. Then we'll take family members maybe to watch a movie. What's the other one that I'm going to do? I'm meeting up another friend in Central in April when he comes back. Yeah, this is just mentally is just gonna be good for me just to have a balance because sometimes I feel like I'm a hypocrite myself in that, working all the time is not good, but then I end up falling in that trap. So I have to balance that. And I know that for me to be optimum, for me to be efficient, for me to be focused, and for me to, when I go and teach the students back, enjoy it again, as in, not that I don't enjoy it, but just be sharp and focused and fresh, I have to do those things on the outside. And also because I live on my own, like the lone wolf, it's easy to just get sucked into these things. Life is short, man. Life is short. And I always think this to myself when I do feel like I feel overwhelmed, is that I could wake up one morning and my leg doesn't work, doesn't function. I could wake up one morning and I can't see. I can wake up one morning and my ears just stop working. I can wake up one morning and I feel some heart palpitations or I get a heart attack. These things happen. No matter how, healthy you are, they can happen. right? Now, that doesn't mean I'm saying don't be healthy, but it's just perspective. It's that we're so caught up on the here and now, which makes sense because that's what is that's what's in our attention at this moment in time. But when you take a step back and have perspective and think things about it in a way where it's not that big of a deal, like think of problems that you had 5 years ago that you thought, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Are you thinking about them now? Probably not. So the problem that you're going through right now, probably in 5 years, you're not even going to think about it. You're probably going to be laughing about it. So sometimes I have to remind myself when I do feel overwhelmed or when there's a lot going on, that my problem is not that big of a problem. There are people out there in the world that have far worse problems and they still find a way to be grateful and happy and have a smile in their face. So what the heck am I complaining about? So yeah, anyway, gonna get to the class and we'll talk to you guys later.
So why was that lesson last week?
Because there was a lesson last week.
You said
You said today.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
No. Should we make a bet? So if I go back to the message I send your parents, if I win, you get double homework for the next 4 weeks.
What was the message?
No. Let's place the bet and then I'll say the message.
No.
You don't want the message? You don't want? You really?
So we don't learn anything today.
No. We're just going to sing the lullaby because it helps our mental well-being.
So, they're being mean to you.
And you're not mean to them. Yara, why did you come and then leave? I was here. Did you come and knock? You could have knocked and said, hello, I'm checking in. Sachi came and asked me if there's a class, and obviously me and my sarcasm, I said no, and then she left. And then went home, and I had to call her mum and say there was class. She thought I was being. Oh, man.
Did you not chase after her?
I don't chase after people. And there's no class today. Careful.
I think we know not to touch your camera.
I know, but I'm very paranoid.
So why didn't you just announce it on the wall?
You got the peas for it.
You got the what? The peas. What's the peas? Wait when the summer hits. At the moment I have to put all these heaters on. The thing about heat, which is interesting, is that if the insulation of the building is not that great, then a lot of heat escapes. So it's not just about putting the heater on and that heats up. If you have good insulation in the building should be able to retain that heat. So with this building, it's not the owner's fault here, it's because I think this building is a listed building, so you can't do modifications or any alterations of the building structure itself because it's a grade 2 listed building. I think you can do things on the inside, but you can't change the structure of the building. So it's unfortunate because, especially with the heat as well, the building here, because it's an old building, it lets out a lot of heat, so you have to have the heat most of the time on because the insulation is not that great. So yeah, today we're gonna start with the year 13 mechanics class. So again, getting closer to the exam now, so I think it's only about 2 months, so things are starting to ramp up and I think they're starting to feel the pressure, the students, which is normal, it's natural. And then from the year 13s, then we have the year 12s, which is, that class is pure maths, so I teach that one pure maths. And then after that, we have the year 9s, year 10s, year 7s as well. So I get people do this GCSE qualifications at university and everything, and I might rustle some feathers here, but listen man, I'm just gonna tell you from my experience, and my experience is just my experience, right? So it's my opinion from my experience, is that I feel you learn a lot more when you're in the real world and you do things practically as opposed to just reading books, right? And I feel that most of the times that, okay, you gotta read the book and then do a test about it, and if you pass, then great, you're qualified. But it's like, look, a lot of the things that I've learned, how to talk to students, how to talk to parents, how to talk to people, how to use psychology in a way that benefits them. It's a lot of it is psychology, right? I learned that just from talking, from being here, like from doing it, action, practical, doing it, not just reading some books, right? I'm not saying reading books is bad. I'm not saying that. I think if you can read books and then do things practically, great. But if you're just reading books and not taking any action and not doing anything practical, what are you actually learning? It's like this, it's like you can learn all the theory there is in a driving test, but if you don't go out there on the road and drive, what are you learning? You're just a theory book, right? You're just like someone that just retains information, but when it comes to the practical world, you're not gonna be good because you haven't been out there and actually learned or practiced. So that's how I kind of look at things. It's like, this is not going to sound arrogant, but for me, even if a new student comes, any new student comes, I can change their mind in that one class and then they will want to stay in that class. And that comes because of psychology. That comes from understanding how to be on their wavelength, understanding how to make them like the class, getting to make them feel that they're part of something. Like, it's a lot of it has been years and years of me not just teaching but learning, looking at their body language, looking at their facial expression, understanding their, like, feeling the energy, the aura. It's all in it. So now I'm very, very confident that I've had so many students, so many parents as well on the phone were saying, look, Vidush, like, they don't want group class, they don't want to come, I'm going to have to push them. I said, just come one class, right? They come for that one class, and then they go and tell their parents that I don't want to leave, I really like it, I want to stay. So it's not coincidence, it's because I've been doing this for so long that now I know how to do it. So that's just my 2 cents or 2 pennies, as they would say, on it. So I'm going to get ready. It's about like 5-10 minutes left till class starts. I'm going to get ready and I will talk to you guys later. Mari, please bring your book next week, or else I'll just be a call directly to your mom live.
My books run out.
Your books run out?
Yeah.
My P's will run out.
So you know for question 4.
Why are you doing 4 when you haven't done 3? And you haven't done 2 properly?
I don't have to do 3.
How do you do that?
You believe in yourself. And you try, and you think. See, now you can't complain, because you said I give too many questions. I only give 2. Who's on, mute yourself online? Who's eating?
It wasn't me.
Vanchi, stop eating.
That was me. That's my pen. I'm not eating, that's my pen tapping my tablet.
Why is your pen tapping your tablet?
I'm writing.
Okay, keep writing. Okay, so we just finished the year 13 mechanics class and the year 12 pure maths class. It was good, had good energy today because it's also the Easter break at the moment. Feels a bit more calm, more tranquille, as the French would say. So yeah, feeling really good, man. Feeling really good. I'll show you what we've done. So again, we're still working on mixed questions, revisions on the year 13 pure maths class, because obviously exams are coming up. In the mixed questions, I tend to cover or do questions that is varied, hence the word mixed questions. And yeah, just giving a bit more revision for them as well before the exam, which I guess will help them as well to see where their strengths and weaknesses lie. All in all, it was good lesson. And yeah, I'm just going to get something to eat now. I don't know what I'm going to eat actually. But to be fair, this morning I had 3 eggs, cheese, cheddar cheese, organic cheddar cheese. Yeah, man, feeling really good today. Weather's not that great, to be fair, if I'm honest with you. It's just so cloudy, but we had good weather last week, so I'm not going to complain. We've still got, I think, 2-3 more classes to go, and then got to put the vlog up for last week's vlog. Need to put that in for today, so that should be an interesting vlog as well. If you haven't watched it, it would probably be out by now, so I'd go off on a bit of rant on that video as well. Actually, when do I not go off on a rant? So how would I find theta? Cos A.
What you do, yeah? The radius squared plus the radius squared minus the top bit squared.
What are you talking about?
That's what we used to do.
No. Were you going to answer the question? Do you want to answer the question and I can check if it's right after? What is 0 divided by 7?
Yeah.
Very good. Round of applause for Chris again, please. You got it. I'm complimenting you.
So where are you getting these numbers from?
Good.
Minus 5.43.
So I'm close enough.
No. Niaro got the same as Yash. So.
I'm literally 0.1 away from it.
No.
It's just a rounding issue.
No, do it again. It's a big difference. 35 minutes, Mari. And then you're looking at the clock.
It's 12 away.
So that means you've been checking your phone just recently.
Do you have a microphone attached to your jumper?
That's what I realised.
I thought you had a mole on your neck.
It's a mole. It's a big mole.
See it?
I had that food poisoning and it just became a
mole.
Okay.
So for that person who was asking about the investment banking experience, how was it, how I got into it, I'll just give you a bit of a high level of it. And obviously if people want to know more about it, I can extend this. Look, the thing about investment banking you have to understand is that I guess a lot of people will go into it for the money, which makes sense. I understand at the beginning you're trying to, get something for yourself, and money will help you, or your means to get that, right? Now, I did electronic and electrical engineering, so I didn't really do economics or accounting or business degree. I did an engineering degree, and I was the only one or the only person in my whole batch in the whole year that then went and worked at investment banking, whereas everyone else worked in an engineering firm. The bank that I worked at was Goldman Sachs, and you also have to understand that it wasn't. I didn't just get into Goldman Sachs. I think I got rejected by 40 other companies before getting into Goldman Sachs, okay? So I don't want people to think that, oh my gosh, like I'm this amazing guy that just got it. No. There was a lot of rejections. When you are asking about investment banking, you first have to understand for yourself, what are the reasons that you want to get into investment banking? That's very important. Don't try and look at it as because everyone's saying investment banking is great or investment banking is where the money is, you should just go in it. Because when the going gets tough, and it will get tough, you will struggle. The second thing as well is that I think a lot of people make this mistake that if they get into one thing, that's it, that's their career. I don't look at it like that. You can try banking first, see for yourself, see how you find it. And then if you find it's too fast paced for you and it just doesn't feel right for you after doing it for a couple of years or for a certain amount of time, then make a change. Don't feel the need that you have to stick in it because now you're in it, if that makes sense. You can always make a change. And this is the thing that I just can't, my mind doesn't work like this, in that people always complain when something is not going well for them, but then they're not willing to take action to make a change. How can you change your circumstances if you're not willing to make the change for yourself first and you're not willing to take action? Not everything is going to be right the first time. It's all a trial and error. Even with banking, if that is what you want to go into and you know this is what you want, understand that it is also, the interview process is not easy. It's hard. You're going to have assessments. You're going to have tests that you have to do. Then you're going to get, I can't even remember with Goldman, I think I was interviewed, is it 3 rounds? And I think the final round, I was interviewed like by 5 people. I can't remember. I think it was 5 people, 5 different people. In those interview stages as well, it's about you as a person, your personality, how you come across to other people, how you communicate, how you talk. It's not just about your grades. I think a lot of people think it's grades. Listen, man, like you can get the grade, fine, but then that could be your way in. But then if you don't have personality and you don't know how to talk, they're going to see that. Because if you can't do that, how are you going to work in a team when you're working in that job, right? If you don't know how to talk with people, if you don't know how to communicate, it's useless. And this is why I always say that even here, I teach group. I teach group because of that reason, because of if people can understand how to talk now from this early age, when they grow into then go into university and then get 9 to 5, they will be comfortable because they've been surrounded by people compared to maybe someone who was doing one-to-one or doesn't want to be around people. It will always come. You're always going to have to interact with people, whether you like it or not. And if you don't, you're at a disadvantage. That's my little take on it. If obviously you want more information, let me know. Maybe I can make a full video about that as well. But yeah, man, listen, do you and make sure that you're going in it for the right reason. It could be banking, it could be being a doctor, it could be being in medicine. Do it for the right reasons. Don't do it for the wrong reasons, because like I said, when things get hard, and they will get hard for whichever field you're gonna get into, they will get hard for different reasons. You're the one who's gonna have to carry the heavy burden, no one else. Everyone can tell you at the beginning, yeah, do this, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be an engineer, be a social media influencer. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this. Social media influencer, yeah, right, okay. Whatever it is, right? They'll tell you to do it, cool. But them telling you is different than you doing it, because you're the one who's gonna have to go through the highs and lows. When the lows come, most people give up because they're like, oh, this is too hard. This is not what I thought it was gonna be, so I'm not gonna do it. So why did you go in it for the first place? Which goes back to what I was saying. Make sure you go in it for the right reasons. Because if you go for it based on the right reasons, when the going gets tough, you'll still be able to go through it because your reasons, your foundations were right. So this is important. It's very easy to get distracted. Don't get distracted. Look at what you want, look at your reasonings, and then stick with that. And then if you have to adapt and change and pivot, you do that accordingly, but not because someone else or everyone else is telling you. It's got to come from you, and it's got to make sure that it comes from within, and then you can make those actionable steps to make that work.
Half times long is you want. Anyone, half times off.
Half. If you have half of like a chicken wing, and then plus half of a chicken wing, you add it together, that's a whole chicken wing.
Yeah, but you can't like multiply a chicken wing by a chicken wing.
Oh, it's a multiplication, of course.
Yes, so what's half times half?
Well, that's 4.
What's 3 over 2 times half?
6 over 2.
Shut it! Wait, 3 over 4.
Wait, 3 over 2 times half is what?
Are you good? Are you silly?
Yeah, Eddie was the one that caught himself in the act, because he said, when we were doing the maths game, he said, I'm not cheating, and then his watch was on calculator mode. I said, sir, careful, Christian.
Careful of the camera. Careful. Be careful. Watch out. That was secret.
Watch camera.
Hi, I've got another class, so I'm
Okay.
gonna have to give you a call. But yeah, he needs a lot of work because also the topics that I'm covering, the school I've not covered yet.
Yeah.
And I would say that this should be a bit, I think I said to you on the phone, it should be a wake-up call to him. It will be a lot more difficult because if he's doing the high tier,
Yeah.
this is what he needs to expect.
Yeah.
The school will just teach him just the basic stuff.
Yeah.
They're not gonna go through like the hard stuff.
Okay.
So even with the homework, this is the homework. I don't think he's gonna be able to do all of it. That's okay.
Yeah.
I just want him to try.
Yeah.
And then when we go, because I'll go through the homework every week anyway.
Okay. Good.
So it's not about what he gets right or wrong. It's I want him to try.
Try his
Right.
best.
So as long as he tries, he's gonna get it eventually as we go further and further.
Right, so we just finished our last class for today, and it was the year 7 class. I won't lie to you if I say that my energy is up. It is, it's gone a bit down. I definitely feel like I've kind of just depleted, which is natural, it's normal. But I just thought I would show you what I do for the year 7s, so you get an idea as well, the things that we're doing. So this is the topics, expanding and simplifying quadratics. And this is the homework. So I think it's a bit more, I wouldn't call it challenging as such, but it's something that, well, it is challenging to an extent, but I always feel like, you know, if they understand the basics, you always push. And as you keep pushing them, they get better as opposed to just staying stagnant. But I'll be honest with you, like, I could definitely feel my energy's just gone a bit lower. And it normally happens at the end of the Sunday, like when everything finishes, my energy normally tends to go down because you've just been giving a lot out throughout the day. So yeah, I'm definitely drained, and I'm just going to try and relax and just get everything packed up and just get my energy back, because on Tuesday we do have our revision masterclass that I need to attend for 4.5 hours. Maybe I might record something there, we'll see. So you've got to make sure that I get some energy back. But yeah, that's pretty much the day done. Normally when the day is done, I tend to just make sure I do the admin side. So when I say admin, just make sure I message parents that have got any queries, or just parents that need questions that needs to be answered, or just like catching up with them. I do that as well. Talk to them on the phone just to see how they are, how they are finding the classes, how their child is finding the classes. And it's also good to know and keep in contact with them and in touch with them, as opposed to just getting the students to come. I always want to have a good relationship with the parents. It's very, very important, because they are the ones that are obviously paying, and it's important to make sure that you are on the same wavelength as them. So yeah, conversation with parents, they're not like 5-10 minutes. I tend to go sometimes 30, 40, even an hour, because we just kind of discuss a lot of things with the students or with their child. So, you know, it gives me an idea as well of how they're doing, and it also gives them reassurance that everything is okay and we are on the same wavelength. So I think that's very important. I think one of the important things as well in business, and this is just from my experience, is that a lot of people try and chase revenue, thinking that if I chase revenue or money, that, you know, I'm going to get there. But I would disagree with that. And I think I said this before, you have to take care of your customers. You have to take care of your clients, because they should be the number one priority. If you are chasing something else and not giving a good service to, in my case, the parents and students, they won't come. It's never been about money first. It's always been about making sure I give the best service, or we give the best service that we can to the parents and the students, so that they would then recommend, if they want to recommend, to other people. I've never told any parents, and I never will tell any parents to recommend me to someone, because if someone wants to recommend you, they will do it wholeheartedly from their heart. You don't need to ask for that, okay? In my opinion. And this has been for a number of years. It's not something like, you know, within an instant. You have to build that. And I think Jeff Bezos said this as well, like with Amazon. When he built Amazon, he said that his number one priority is customers. It's always been about the customer. Everything else comes second. Amazon, for the first, I think 3, 4, 5 years even, they were making losses. All the profit that they made, they reinvested it back into the business to make the business better, to make the system more efficient, more streamlined, so that the customer gets a better experience. Bezos was customer focused. He was obsessed with making sure that the customer had a good experience, so that then they would then go and recommend that to other people. And I think that's how business should be. It shouldn't be, of course, yeah, you make money and everything, but the core of it for me has always been about the parents, making sure that the parents are happy. And obviously the students, you want to make them happy as well, because if they don't like the lesson or don't understand it, they won't come. So in a way, I've got to cater to both, like both the parents and the students. So the way I talk with the parent is different to the way I talk with the student, of course. There's a lot that goes behind this that, I'm sharing to you as a teacher or tutor, that hopefully you can understand that there is a lot more. And it's part of it, man. It's part of it. I'm not complaining. I enjoy it, but I'm not going to lie and say that it's always, I'm going full of energy. But I hope that you can see that someone like myself started from nothing and had a vision, was tunnel vision, focused for numerous number of years. Not this, overnight success as they call it, right? Like you make success over, on social media because of something within like 2-3 months or 1 year. No. This is a long-term game, and you play the long term. That's when you really get to know who the real players are. It's been a long journey. I'm enjoying it. I like it. I like to build, and this is only going to get bigger, and I'm only going to get to build this bigger. And eventually I want to, give as much value as I can to as many parents as I can and to as many students as I can. And if people can take some sort of value from that and they can put that into their own life, I'm happy, man. I'm happy. Even if that means that I come back home and feel completely drained. Like, this is what normally happens. Every Sunday when I finish, I go back home, I am drained. I am drained because you've been teaching the whole week, and especially the weekend as well, you've been teaching even more. So when you come on Sunday, when I hit the bed, I am out. But it's the best type of you're out. Like, you want to go to bed knowing that you've given everything. And when you've given everything and you go to bed, the sleep that you get from that, amazing. So I'll finish on this. I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.